a little bit of an update on the Mars retrograde. While I was recording, apparently there was an explosion of house in the Haag, and they say, well, the person that did that is, I don't know, I don't want to get into that. In the comments, I heard, of course, people saying it's Mossad. I would like to address that. Not as Mossad. Okay? So this is not any official notice. But the thing is, in order for Mossad, let's say it's Mossad or CIA or any form of intelligence, to know where is that house, why bomb this particular house, the way that information, it doesn't matter which type of intelligence, global intelligence, the way information goes through is through what we call sexpionage. You want to know more about it? Listen to Eliza, that she was sexpionage for the USSR. She thought she's going to be intelligence, then she was raped, suddenly raped, made one guy fall in love with her, so this will be only rapist. Then she was sent here, sent there, took down some drug trafficker, I don't know, crime, organized crime, but the USSR fell. Why? Because when you rape a person, the picture is as fractured as the soul of the person. So in order to know which house to bomb, if it was intelligence, there needed to be sexpionage affiliated with this house. Very simply put. It's no other way. That's how the information is. This is why you have pedo rings. This is why you have what you call sex work. It's not sex work. Every time you hear about a new thing. I have to say, for OnlyFans, I didn't even listen to all the interviews. It was too much. Oh. But you think it's sex work? No. Also your manicure. Also your makeup. Also many jobs. Okay, for the Me Too, and began to stand against sexual harassment at workplaces. It was a cult. It was things that people couldn't talk about. What you call now spiritual warfare. Okay, so part of it was grooming. Okay, and the part of it was rape, unfortunately. And grooming, leads to rape. So, and so, again, when people ask which house to explode, they need a sexpionage. What I said, Netherlands has moon beta Persei. What did we say about beta Persei? Will and consent. When it's violated, people get dissociated. And then, if it's what is next to it, you have to ask. In Israel, it is the sun, so it is leaders, gold, confiscation of gold. Israel very likely doesn't have, maybe it sold certain gold that it has that we don't even know of. Okay, 8th house. Money, funding, something explode. The character of the country, okay? For Netherlands, moon, houses. You see, what's the difference between a Mars? When I told you Mars is real estate, moon is housing. What happens when you mess with the housing and you make it a human trafficking? It's no longer housing, it's real estate. Comes Uranus, it liberates the housing into being housing. The Uranus explodes things. That's what it does. And so in order for there to know which houses to explode, even if it was terror organization, whatever you want to call it, there needed to be some exchange of sexpionage, which is rape. It's not sex work. It's not she's seductive, she's this, she's that. She was raped and tortured. Or he, it can be boys. There's a lot of boys trafficked. So it's pertaining to a very relevant topic that I tend to quite some time. I said when Uranus went, when Mars was direct on this point, and the moon was triggering, opposing Mars on this degree, very degree, then we had the explosion but next to my uncle. This is very funny because half Israeli, half Dutch, and they think it's Mossad. They can't. And I tell him, please, we're going to have a retrograde. Uranus is going to go direct. We're going to have more explosions of houses and so on. And that happens in the Haag. He didn't reply to me because he thinks it's Mossad. Because my father and my uncle not talking. Because one is pro-Israel and the other one is folding the tail for the astrology. So it's just a picture of the nice dogs. He used to work at a church. I got fired. But anyway. But I like to see the nice pictures of the motherland, okay? Beautiful nature. So, unfortunately, we actually are more houses going to explode? Well, it's a Uranus moon transit. So the answer is not only, but the entire motherland can explode. It's the people. You want to be cautious for there not to be suicide bombers. Unfortunately, you want to house the people because unhoused people become suicide bombers. Especially if it's this or recruited to sex trafficking, so they say, okay, well, let's explode. Now, if you tell, you know what, you can explode. Let's explode the house. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Anyway, they want to die, okay? It's not that they want to die, they want to live and this and that, it doesn't seem possible. So, you can cry Mossad, but, you can cry Mossad, but for there to be, you gotta tend to what? Will and consent. Now some of it is not knowing. But hey, in 1996, we had the White March in Paris. So, yeah, they just replaced the population. But if they replace the population with the population where, what is to rape a woman? She wants it. She make money. No, the money goes to the handler. Then houses begins to explode. And then who they blame? For the people that are, whether they did it or not, for the people that are okay with raping a woman. They're not, this is the sort, people immediately, oh, is it these guys, it's the people that are okay with raping a woman. Very simply put. Who did it? So, I don't know if it's Mossad, not Mossad. I think intelligence is a global thing. But I want to address astrologically, okay, because I'm not a global intelligence. Astrologically, moon beta per se, housing, and things to do whether it's will and consent is good wealth. Then it would be a sudden boom, uptick of renovation in the house or something unusual in the house, okay? Could be also explosion, but not malefic. So, but for moon Uranus, okay, when Uranus transits this, anything Uranus liberates, anything that's not. So for the housing that would be picked is housing that something happened with sexpionage. Something that we don't. Maybe the tenant was asked to have a sex for rent. We don't know. If not, maybe family lives there and they don't even know. Here's something happened with that. Otherwise, they wouldn't pick this house. Why? Because when you take it as sexpionage, the minute they begin to recover, unfortunately, kaboom! You want to get rid of them because they know too much, right? They will recover, they will understand what happened. Poof. But also, for the people that are tortured, they want to end suffering, end suffering, end suffering, end suffering. Let it all explode. Boom. House goes boom. Uranus is manifesting. Now let's ignore for the fact that I talked about the 9/11 on the sex scraper earlier today. let's not recall me saying, Rute, let's laser a city. Okay? And let's, for heaven's sake, not think about the black joke that you laser us, then they explode you. And everybody profits from that, except, of course, from we, the people. And let's just a tiny fraction of forgetfulness that the we, the people on the dollar, is not the we, the people. Okay? It's not the same we, the people. Now, I know that 4 people were evacuated to hospital. Uranus is a sign of dissociation, Moon is emotions. So naturally, I have dissociation from emotion at this transit when it comes to my motherland, okay? So, of course, what I have to say about hospitals stay the same. If it's physical wounds, get the fuck out of there the soonest possible. And if any beta blocker is prescribed, get the fuck out of that as soon as possible. What is solution for trauma? Housing first. And to believe the patient. The people, they may not be willing to speak, or they may speak without control. You might see snakes around the patients. You might see things that you think is psychosis. It's not psychosis, it's ritual, human sacrifice. They use remote viewer to target leaders and people. Okay? Not to find kidnapped people. But you don't even need remote viewing because we have Starlink. Starlink can tell us exactly where each person is at. So we know where they went. You put a picture of them, AI, search for this, not AI, machine learning, search for footage on Starlink, believe me, it is recorded. You get the person immediately. There, this hour, there they are. Should we talk about laser? Because the laser, depending on the radiation, can use to burn things, but we can have a laser-focused, laser precision operation to get them the fuck out. Don't say but Rute. Rute is meeting with all of the EU countries and the North Africa and the USA. But the guy with the Starlink is Elon Musk. Don't Rute. They rooted in Netherlands. If you don't do impeachment, not of Rute, of the government, for the 1100, don't say one name when entire NAVO is a union of what is North Atlantic, also North Africa, also Jordan recently. Okay? But all of these countries. By the way, who is Martin? So, for all the people saying, this Mossad, this Mossad, this Mossad. Hey, how many of you have account on X? What if all of you wrote Elon Musk? Footage. Oh. Don't go Mossad. Okay? All you have to do is go on X, go Elon Musk, write footage. One word. Footage. You can do a hashtag footage, or you can do footage the haag. Or if you have a missing person, it's a footage for that person. Then let's make footage hashtag on X. Boom. Like when Julian Assange was flying bombardier out of Belmarsh. Don't Mossad me. Pluto is in Aquarius. It's X.